Okay, so I've been meaning to do this video for a while, but I haven't had the motivation to do so. But like a random spark of motivation just suddenly hit me like a freight train, so we're doing this, and I'm actually writing kind of a script for this, so yeah, let's get on with the video. Things I hate in Gacha fnaf. As someone who has been here since the very beginning of the fandom, my opinion: 1. Hating on different character designs. I'm actually shocked about the comments I get sometimes about making my characters different skin tones. Because first of all, 90% of these characters do not have canon human designs. Most of them are little pixel characters of a single color. And before anyone mentions the Silverized trilogy, books, graphic novels, those are deemed non-canon to the games and the movie. But it is okay if somebody wants to use those for their designs. Just don't attack people who deviate from them. 2. Even if some of them do have canon designs, people are free to explore character designs and make them however they want, as long as it's not like racist caricatures of people. 2. Alternative universes. Oh, I'm not against them. Hell, I have my own that I'm working on. But what I'm talking about is the people that try to say theirs is canon, or the people that shit on them for not being canon enough. That's the point of an alternate universe. The definition of an alternative timeline means an alternative universe, and so many more names, is a setting for a work of fan fiction that departs from the canon of the fictional universe that the fan work is based on, like Undertale. LOL. If you don't like, then that's fine, as long as the doesn't have any morally disgusting things like pedophilia in it. Then don't send hate to the creator and simply ignore it. 3. Shipping. Oh boy. Okay, so I've been hearing this fandom since 2014. At the ripe age of 8, it was my first hyperfixation. As a small wee lad, I saw the Phone Guy X Vincent, the shipping wars of Springtrap X the Mangle versus Foxy X the Mangle, the Ask blogs on Tumblr with ships, and ALO that. Just to say 2 things. 1. Shipping happens in all fandoms, big or small. It's always going to occur, whether you like it or not. 2. Shipping is okay. You're not a shitty person for shipping, as long as you're not shipping adults with children, siblings, animals with humans, or weird age gaps. Like 15 plus years. If you ship the animatronic suits themselves, that's fine, as they are inanimate objects, robots. Just don't ship the children possessing them. I personally will not be showing any romantic relationships with the children that are under the age of 12. That feels weird to me. 4. The trauma of mental illness as an excuse. This is specifically about the people that excuse William's actions of being a child murderer or being abusive with.
Oh, but he has trauma.
Like, no bitch. That does not excuse somebody from their actions. Like if he went to a court of law for either his murders or domestic abuse, that shit would not hold up in court. I don't care if he's a fictional character, to be honest, y'all. A lot of people online still use I have trauma to excuse their fucked up behavior. Some forms of trauma can explain behaviors in people, but it does not excuse what they do, obviously. 5. The demonization of Elizabeth Cassidy of the missing children. People really like to demonize these kids for some reason, especially Cassidy and Elizabeth. I think it's really fucked up. A lot of these children are between the ages of 4 to 13, in a lot of cases vows. I can understand the case of Elizabeth a little bit, because of how she is in the Silverized trilogy books. But then again, the books are not canon. If these books are mentioned, again, I'm taking your skin, JK. Elizabeth is a child, and I understand the funny, haha demon child. I live with small children who can be demon spawn that can drive you insane. But fortunately that is not the only personality trait they have. Children are very complicated things who have very complicated feelings, other than being menaces to society. I especially hate the demonization of Cassidy and the missing children. These are usually from people who sympathize with William. Those children have every right to want William to be dead or tortured. Those are small children who were murdered and then stuffed into animatronic suits. Being a ghost is most likely the most painful and isolating experience for those kids, and those kids are probably stewing in their anger and hatred for years. So they have every right to be angry and to want William dead. 6. Hating on fnaf OCs. Personally, I don't get the hate. Sure, some OCs can be cringy and Mary Sue's, but I think that's just someone having fun, and I don't think we should be making fun of them or hating on them for having OCs. A lot of people have OCs in fandoms. That's just how it's going to go, whether people like it or not. If you don't like seeing someone's OC in their FNAF content, go to somebody else's channel or simply not watch the video. As long as the OC is enjoyable to watch and makes sense in the timeline, the FNAF universe, that's all that should really matter in my opinion. 7. Making Henry completely innocent. Henry is not an innocent person. He is morally gray at best. He was not a perfect father. He neglected his children. With how his daughter was left alone outside of the pizzeria long enough to get murdered, it is his fault she died, and I don't think a lot of people talk about it enough. Even if he loved her, he was neglectful. With the way that Fazbear Entertainment was ran back in the 70s, seeing as the Mimic game will be coming out later when writing this, and up to Security Breach, and probably beyond that. Sure, he was probably a better person than William, but he wasn't a saint, not in the slightest. On God. 8. Flanderization of characters. A lot of people in the Gacha FNAF community, at some point or another, have Flanderization their FNAF characters in one way or another. But you may be wondering,
what does that even mean, Frankie?
Well, my dear viewer, the definition of Flanderization is the progressive exaggeration of a single trait or set of traits of a fictional character until it overtakes all other characterization. The example I'm going to use is Elizabeth. This isn't as much of a prominent thing as it was back in 2019-2021-ish, but it is still a thing, making Elizabeth obsessed with ice cream, making William proud, and making her evil, and making those her only character traits she has. Frankly, it makes her bland, not unique, predictable, and an unenjoyable character to watch, and is lazy writing to me. And lastly, 9. Not taking a serious topic seriously. I hate when people take a serious situation like abuse, murder, suicide, and then not treat it seriously at all. And I'm not just talking about when people make jokes out of abuse. I'm also talking about the people who just don't put too much thought into these topics when they add them to their ass. Like they're adding them willy-nilly to make them more dark. These topics should be handled with delicacy and seriousness. Abuse should not be used to make videos darker. Okay, I'm done. That's all I needed to get out. I just wanted to add my 2 cents into the conversation as someone who likes FNAF and has an understanding when it comes to characters and writing, and I'm still learning. So, let me know what you think in the comments. D.